My question is around the being aspect of successful business. I am overwhelmed a bit in my commitment and consistency, and the ego is working really hard to convince me without them I cannot succeed. What do these qualities look like, feel like? I'm afraid I keep seeking that magic element that is missing. What's missing? How do I be and commit and be consistent? Okay. How does that feel hearing that back, Dee?
It feels pretty right on target. It's exactly what I need some clarity around.
Okay. So
Um,
what I'm hearing inside of you is that there's a belief that you have to be consistent. Is that true?
yes.
Did somebody tell you that?
Nobody specifically. It's honestly, it's what I see everywhere, you know, through whatever it's called, social media, whatever it is, that everyone's like, if you're not consistent, you're going to fail. Like that just keeps getting drilled in every time I see this ad for a coaching thing or, what's missing from your program or why aren't you getting your ideal clients? Seems to be one of the number one things that people keep throwing at me. And I know I have trouble with being, you know, following the rules.
Uh-huh. Okay. And so what if the most successful path for you is not following the rules?
I highly affirm and believe that in my heart that it is the way for success for me.
Okay.
And the ego's playing this game. So
So there's fear that if you don't do what you're told, then it's not going to work out for you.
absolutely.
Have you tested this?
Honestly, I feel like I'm testing it now and everything is amazing.
Mhm.
It could be more amazing, of course. However, I have everything that I need and everything is coming to me super easy and in flow. And yet, that part of me that wants more says, well, then maybe this is what's missing.
Uh-huh. So there's a part that wants more, and then there's another part that's saying if it has to be a trade-off, you can't have more without doing it this way.
Exactly.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that there's a lot, like there is a lot of noise out there to coaches, to entrepreneurs, how we're supposed to run our business, and a lot of it that I've seen, and I hear what you're saying, is that very patriarchal lens and that very masculine, like you need to be consistent, you need to have all of these things in place in order for you to be successful. I too have tried so many different things over the years and have, invested time, energy, tens of thousands of dollars into specific programs or ways that people have said, if you just follow this, if you just follow my 3, 5 simple steps, you too can be successful. What I found is that it is bullshit. I have found that to be an entrepreneur in the way that I am designed uniquely, I am not like somebody else. What might work for somebody else actually hasn't worked for me. So we come to that threshold where we get to follow along and do all the things. It's like school, right? That's how the school system was taught. Here, follow these things, memorize this, do this, and then you'll get the grade, and then we'll get the little pat on the back, and you'll be a good little member of society. We are women, and women's bodies, we are not consistent. Anyone notice that? We are
Yeah.
not consistent. Like, so why are we not utilizing our makeup, the mechanism of how we are designed? There is strength in that. There is actually power in that and reason in that. It's not a mistake. So if your business could look any way, what would it look like? If there were no rules, Dee, how would you want it to look?
To be honest, I want it to continue to look like what it is. Like every day, honestly, is different for me. I get to do 6 or 7 different things. I get to choose where my energy is going for that day, whether it's in a group coaching program or one-on-one client or an art project, whatever it is. That's how I've always been. And that's how I want to continue to be. I guess hearing you speak just now, that little girl in me just needed permission to keep going the way that I'm going. There's nothing wrong with what I'm doing because it is who I am. And I keep trying to pigeonhole myself, like you said, into that societal patriarchal system of 3 steps and you're in. And I've been doing this for over a year and a half and my head hurts. So it
Yeah.
feels great. As soon as you said it's all BS, my shoulders just dropped 3 inches.
And so do you feel like you're going to be more successful operating from an energy and a nervous system that is relaxed, where the shoulders drop, where you drop and where you feel more open, or from that place of trying to get it right?
Oh, absolutely. The former. Yeah, absolutely.
And so what's the more? You mentioned there's like more.
Um, the more is very honestly the investment exchange for my services with clients. That's the
That
more.
you want a
I want
higher investment to
I want
for
a
your,
higher uh, quantity of people to work with
okay.
at a higher investment so that I'm not burning out by working with 50 people a month or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Um,
Yes.
yeah. I want more people, women, humans who are drawn to exploring their divine feminine and
Mhm.
balancing that with the masculine that we have going on right now on the planet. That's the more that I want.
Right. So live that, right? Live that, emanate that, vibrate that. Number one, be the embodiment of that. And so what is preventing you from raising your rates and working with more people?
There's nothing really preventing me from it. I've raised my rates twice already this year. So it's not about me being afraid actually to raise my rates anymore. Um, it's attracting and being a magnet for those who need me without selling my soul,
Mhm.
without being consistent, without being all of the things that we're taught. See, I just feel like that's the disconnect where I am in flow most of my days. I am in abundance and I'm living and embodying these practices. Can I do it more? Absolutely. And it's the question that I had, almost 2 years ago is I don't know where to find these beautiful souls.
Hmm. Right. How do you usually find the people you work with?
I don't. They just find me.
Oh,
You know.
love.
I know. And there's a part of me that says if you just do something a little bit more and different, more will come.
Here's the thing. Consistency is a fallacy, but continuity is important, right? There needs to be a through line. There needs to be the clarity of consciousness from which you are operating in your life and your business, and the conviction of what you're doing and why you're doing it without apology, without like, oh, wow, I want to live in flow, but I feel somehow that I need to apologize for being quote unquote inconsistent. The minute that there's that judge, like the judge of yourself, is what it sounds like. There's part of you that is judging yourself for being in flow, for enjoying the work that you do. And I'm also hearing, yeah, you want more. And I am, I guess, curious if you want more clients or just a higher income.
It's a good question. Definitely a higher income.
Okay.
And I don't know. That's actually an interesting question. Someone asked me if 10 or 30 people signed into your program tomorrow, how would that make you feel? And honestly, it scares the shit out of me. I'm like, oh my God, now what am I going to do with all these people? So there's this fear that I don't really want that many people to coach and to work with and to be with. I want the people who are really invested.
Okay. So that's different than what you first
Yeah.
said, right? I want more people and I want,
Right. Right.
more, which, and then we get to see, like, is that coming from scarcity? Is that coming from what you think you're supposed to do and what other people are doing? So you get to come back to the truth of you. What is the business you're creating? What is the life you're creating? What is true and correct for your unique design of who you are? And how do you want to be in your life? How does that land?
Very well received. My my nervous system is a little more regulated. I can breathe. I feel like I can breathe a little easier just hearing that. Um, and it's not something that I haven't been told before by my higher self or by guides. It's just the believing before I see kind of thing,
Yeah.
and sitting in faith and knowing as opposed to just a belief or a thought.
Yeah, I love that, right? To go deeper. And this is where our business is our spiritual practice. It is the deepest spiritual practice that we will do because it will bring up everything. It will bring up every insecurity. It will bring up everywhere that we have been conditioned to believe that we are not enough. So, can I give you a little piece of homework to play with?
Yes, please. Mhm.
And I know we've got a week together in Costa Rica to dive deeper into all of these elements. But what I would say is spend some time and write out what success is to you. And even if you've done this before, do it today fresh. And really from that beginner's mind space, that empty mind of like, okay, really, what is success? And if your business slash life could look any way without any restrictions, without it having to be like anyone else's or how you've done it before, what would that look like? And most importantly, what would that feel like?
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Helpful?
Very, very helpful.
Awesome. All right.